Straight ahead, President Obama is threatening the Republicans, and just hours ago, well, he amped it up, and the Republicans are threatening right back. Republican Congressman Mark Meadows is here. President Obama saying he's been very disciplined and sparing when it comes to executive action.
It's been the pattern of the Obama presidency over and over again to just disregard the Congress, disregard the law.
We've been very disciplined and sparing in terms of the executive's actions that we've taken.
He's ruling by executive fiat.
This is truly the imperial presidency.
Well, I don't think that's very serious.
It's either his way or the highway.
I'm appalled that he's doing this, but I'm not surprised.
I've got a pen and I've got a phone, and I can use that pen to sign executive orders and take executive action.
He also has a constitution and an oath of office that he took, where he swore to faithfully execute the laws of our country.
The Constitution should have something to do with what you do as president, and it's not what you can do with the pen and the phone.
We've been very disciplined and sparing.
I think the president's changed the Constitution. He's decided that it's optional and he's going to obey it when he feels like it. That is a form of tyranny.
Republican Congressman Mark Meadows joins us. Nice to see you, sir.
It's good to be back with you.
Why is he making this threat? Why isn't the threat, instead of I'm going to use my pen and the phone, instead it's going to be, we're going to work this out together?
Well, you've got to find somebody to blame, and certainly blaming Congress is the popular thing to do right now. But really, in him trying to bypass Congress, he fails to realize that his party was in control for 2 years, and many of the things that we're addressing today, he didn't address when he had the majority.
Oh, well, I was at the immigration speech at American University in July of 2010, and he had the House and the Senate, of course. It was an election year, and he talked about immigration reform, and there was Simpson Bowles was a good opportunity to do things. He didn't do that, but that was then. Now we're here, and now rather than sort of thinking like how are we going to work together, it is as though he has declared war.
Well, he has declared war, and not just on Congress, but the American people. When he talks about bypassing Congress, he's really talking about bypassing the American people and their will and the fact that they showed up and voted. And yet what we see is we've got some 40 jobs bill sitting on Harry Reid's desk. He needs to pick up the phone and call Harry Reid and say, why don't you take some of those out?
Well, it's sort of interesting because, he's done this, yet if you look at the numbers, he has 168 executive orders, and they come in all shapes and sizes, but 168 in the 6 years that he's been president so far. The Bush administration at this time, in the second term, he had 224, which is actually 56 more executive orders. The Clinton administration before that at this time had 276, 108. So actually he's on the low end. Of course, what you're doing for executive orders is significant. Yet for some reason he has decided to make this, some sort of, weapon against the Republicans, rather than figuring out how to, rise above it and make the two of you work together.
Well, you hit a great point. The executive order has been used throughout history, dating back to George Washington. The difference here is the way that he's doing it and the fact that he's being selective. And no one, not even the President of the United States, is above the law. We're a nation of laws, and when you start to bypass it, it's troubling.
What are you going to do? I mean, I know that you're all upset, but are you going to do anything?
Well, it's time where we've got to get beyond talk. Obviously, there's been a number of things that we've looked at, resolutions, looking to the judiciary for relief, but ultimately we have to use every weapon at our disposal, whether that's fiscal in nature or the judicial branch. We're co-equal branch.
So what's leading the pack? What do you think, if you were to bet right now, what's the Republicans going to do who want this to stop? What are you going to say?
Well, I think that there needs to be a look at some judicial relief.
So you're going to court?
And so perhaps. I know the real problem is standing there,
right.
and so everybody looks at that and says, well, do you have standing? The other is the pocketbook, and we have to really look at that seriously and limit the power of the executive branch in some of these agencies that are carrying out these edicts.
Well, for the life of me, I don't know why he's bragging about it and threatening and everything else. It doesn't seem a very effective a way to try to lead and perhaps get some sort of compromise agreement. But anyway, that's we'll see what happens. Anyway, Congressman, nice to see you, sir.
It's good to be back with you.